Okay, is everybody ready?
Yeah. Oh
yeah. Okay. My name is Stefan Blitz. I'm the editor-in-chief of ForcesOfGeek.com, and we're very privileged today to have the Galactica crew who finally made it to Earth. I would first introduce Mr. Jack Stauffer, who played Lieutenant Bojay. Sarah Rush, played Corporal Rigel. Lieutenant Boomer, Herbert Jefferson Jr. Hathaway, Boxey. And Lieutenant Apollo and Starbuck. Richard Hatch and Dirk Benedict.
They called you Lieutenant Apollo. Did you hear that?
I like that. An upgrade. Or a downgrade. No, it's a downgrade.
Captain Apollo. Captain Starbuck.
Oh, no, I only played lieutenants. I never got above the rank of lieutenant.
I wonder why. You weren't captain.
I wonder why, who said that? No wonder I didn't.
You were written that way.
I was written, no, I was written in the wind. I never got above the rank of lieutenant in anything in life. So he knows what I'm talking about. He's got this whole idea that I should write a book about every woman I ever slept with. But I said, you know...
Was it a 2-page book?
No, it's volume 1.
I want to read that book.
Who said that, Jack?
I didn't say it.
You said it's not a 2-page book. Look, I know a straight line when I know a straight guy when I see it too, and I don't see one here.
What are you looking at me for?
Because Richard leaned back.
Take control of the panel, please. Hurry.
All right. No, we don't need a moderator.
Let's start at the beginning.
Wait.
Never start at the beginning. Unless you're Dylan Thomas, then to begin at the beginning is good. Otherwise, we'll start at the end and work backwards.
With Jack Stauffer over here, ladies and gentlemen. If you're wondering how he got hurt, he was the stunt double for McCain.
I thought he was trying to have sex with his wife. That's what it was.
Actually, at the airport, Dirk and Richard came up to me and said, "What the hell are you doing here?" and beat me into the ground.
No, we didn't. We said, "Who the hell are you?" And what are you doing?
And beat me into the ground.
God, get your insults straight.
Are you going to take control of this thing?
No, we don't need. Oh, do you have a list of questions? Do you have a list of questions?
I do, sir.
Do you have a list of questions?
I do.
Okay.
All right.
Dirk has all the answers, trust me.
I do. That's where I'm at the end of the table.
The success of Star Wars certainly helped greenlight Galactica for television. And when the series launched, what was the experience like to suddenly be thrust into the public eye? But then also, did you ever think that 30 years later you would be recognized for the show that just was a job?
Who are you talking to?
Everybody. We'll start with Dirk.
Start with Dirk.
No, start with Jack and go this way.
Really, because if it starts over here,
Yeah. Because after I'm done, there's nothing left to say. So.
On a show like that, I would say, we're all actors, and this was a job that you were offered, and it was a great gig. Personally, for me, the fact that it came on the heels of Star Wars meant nothing other than the fact that somebody was idiotic enough to offer me a part. So I said, sure, I'll do it, and that was kind of how I got there.
Sarah?
Oh, golly. Moon River. I just want to sing when I'm with the microphone. Hey, for me, I was just thrilled. I was under contract to Universal, and I had just moved to Los Angeles from New York City, and I was just thrilled to be able to put on my spacesuit, and I I loved being with everybody. It was such a wonderful cast. I had my 22nd birthday where you all took me out, and Lorne Greene, and you all took me out for dinner. It was so fun, and it was just a great job, and I think it's just fantastic that 37 years.
Did Dirk try to take you home for your 20th?
Yeah.
We all thought she was underage. That's why we didn't ask you outside. Seriously. We all had crushes on you, just so you know.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you.
And guys, I have to tell you, the Star Wars element really had nothing to do with the excitement of Battlestar. For me, it was the idea that that science fiction for television was coming back once again. It was a great team of people here. We all got along. There wasn't a bad apple in the barrel. We all jumped into it. 14, 15-hour a day jobs. And to answer that part of your question regarding 35 years later, I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that I would be standing here, sitting here, talking to you about a production that we did 35 years ago that lasted one season, guys. If you really look at Galactica, take a good look if you have the box set and do your arithmetic without all the added features and the like. And Richard probably has it down to the very second. There are less than 30 hours total. Less than 30 hours total of the original Battlestar Galactica, and that includes the 3-hour pilot. So this is all thanks to you guys, because we never know when we're working on a project how it's going to be received by the public. I have to say that Galactica, the original Galactica, has become iconic for one reason, and that is because of each and every one of you.
Noah? Hi! How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I was just a little idiot chasing that damn dog around the entire series. Holy shit. Really? Like,
Did you have tattoos then? I don't remember.
I did.
You did, didn't you? Your parents tattooed you. I think that's how you got. You were tattooed underneath that. That's what. Yeah, you and Evie.
Right, me and Evie.
Evie had a tattoo.
I had a great time for the year it was. I mean, I had my own chimp, and I had these idiots to play around with all the time, and it was awesome.
Was it like a big playground for you?
At 6, absolutely. It was amazing.
And working with the monkey?
Well, I loved her. I can't say they loved her. I did. I mean, what 6-year-old who had their own chimp for a year wasn't stoked? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I know she fucked takes up, and I know she had her issues, but she was amazing. She was a really good girl.
Fantastic.
But she did piss on Vince Edwards' head.
Wait,
I probably would have too.
there was 3 monkeys, wasn't there? There was 3 monkeys.
There was Evie and there was Doc.
Wasn't there
Evie?
Max?
That's right.
No, I think it was Evie and Doc, and Eve was like the main girl, and then Doc would come in when she was tired. And not spreading shit all over the place. You know, hey,
I forgot about
we're
that.
actors, we all gotta work in shit, you know?
Richard?
Gentlemen, there are children here.
Where?
Yeah, one of them was just speaking.
What? Oh, we got a couple. That's all right.
What are you laughing about, Sarah?
You know that?
Because I have potty mouth.
How long does this last?
We had a, just so you know, we had probably, I mean, all of you probably watch many sci-fi shows, right? How many Star Trek fans here? Firefly fans here? Yeah, wow. Babylon 5, Farscape, all those shows. You notice they're all off the air? Did you ever notice that? How in the world could they take every single space show off the air? You know, because they still don't get it. They really don't understand how many fans there are of sci-fi. And the what? Oh yeah. Well, I gotta say that. Oh, what? The set that we had, it's amazing because when I got cast on it, I literally had like an hour when they negotiated my contract to get in the car, run over to the set, get into costume, and shoot my first scene. And they gave me the wrong scene. And you have no idea what a panic it is for an actor to show up on the set the first day. Because no matter how much you've done, it's like you're starting all over, and it's like, oh my God, they're paying me this amount of money, and I've got to do this for the show, and you see all this money being spent, and you feel all this pressure that you have to somehow live up to all that expectation. And when I walked on the set, I've never seen this on any show I've ever been on. They had film crews from all over the world doing interviews, because that's how big the show was. It was the most expensive, biggest show ever on television at that time. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Seriously, I was this very idealistic actor. I wanted to do something meaningful. I get taken out to dinner. I'm a starving actor, can't pay my bills, and I basically turned down the audition for Battlestar. And literally because I thought, this is just going to be some little cheesy rip-off of Star Wars. And so I get picked up in a limousine by Glenn Larson, taken out to a French restaurant, plied with champagne until I'm absolutely bombed. And then he tries to sell me the show, and I'm thinking, here I am, this actor, and I don't have really anything to stand on, and they're talking me into doing this big, production. And I remember going, no, I want to do something serious, no, and he keeps going, no, it's going to be Wagon Train meets Family, which was a very highly regarded dramatic show at the time. And I kept going, no, I really want to do this and that. And you can't imagine an actor turning something down, right? And so he kept going like that until he shows me the script. And I look at all this amazing Ralph McQuarrie art. And you know what turned my little idealistic, meaningful actor thing into the little boy that wants to fly across space, right? Was looking at this incredible Ralph McQuarrie art of the Vipers and the ships and all that stuff. And so, screw the idealistic actor, I get to be, Mark Hamill floating through the atmosphere. And the funny thing, Mark was on Streets of San Francisco right before Star Wars came out. And what you don't understand is really, when we shoot... What?
Was he fat then?
Fat? No. He was actually in good shape back in that day. He and I used to compete for a lot of roles we competed for. And I asked him what he'd been doing. And he said, I made this little movie called Star Wars. I go, little movie called Star Wars? For him, it was a little movie till they put that big John Williams score and then all the special effects, right? So when we got on Battlestar, the amazing thing is you're just shooting like a normal actor, doing your scenes, doing your stuff, but you don't get a chance to see all the special effects, all the extra stuff that they put into it. So when you get to watch it, you're like fans. I mean, you're looking at a movie and it's hard to believe that that's you in that movie. And when that came out, I mean, honestly, I remember an admiral from an aircraft carrier coming up to me at a convention telling me that they actually brought the aircraft carrier into port in order to pick up the signal for the Battlestar Galactica movie. That's when I started to get this little signal that, people actually really love this show. And again, I think it was 15 years later, something like that, 1995, my girlfriend, big Star Trek actor, by the way, I love Star Trek as well. She takes me to a convention and I'm going, nobody's going to remember me. It's Battlestar Galactica. And there was like thousands of people in Pasadena at the Star Trek convention, and they yell out, it's Battlestar Galactica, Richard Hatch, and I'm closing my ears because the biggest fear an actor has is you're going to say Richard Hatch, and they go, who? And there was this big cheer, and I'm like blown away that all these people, 15 years later, remember this show. And I think what kind of got to me then was the fact that for whatever reasons, we are blessed to be in a sci-fi show because the fans of sci-fi shows are the most dedicated, right? They support us. We actors go up and down. We make money, we lose money. Sometimes they love us, sometimes they want to make a phone call. And yet the people that really love you in the shows that you're in, especially these wonderful, iconic sci-fi shows like Battlestar, we sit there and have people come up and tell you stories about how much your performance, your show, your episode changed their life. So for us, it's been the most amazing, for me, experience of my life. When I had the first woman step out of line, this huge line of people going for Star Trek signatures. And they put me out in left field, and I'm sitting there the first time at a convention wondering who's going to come over here. Some little lady kind of slipped out of line and made her way all the way over to my table with tears in her eyes telling me a story of how she was going through this horrible time in her life when Battlestar was on and how it changed her life. And I swear, most actors never ever get to have that experience of how your work, your performance impacted people. So anyway, that for me, for Battlestar, was life-changing. And here 35 years later now, it's amazing to me that we've gone to conventions just about every year, and when they have panels, they're packed. I don't understand why the studios are the last to realize how many people love a show. You ever notice how all the good shows go off way too soon? You ever notice that? And all the bad shows stay on forever. I don't get that. Anyway, that's my story.
Why always the good die young?
No, bad. One of the other. I'm sorry, what was the question? I have nothing to say.
Did you say I was
don't-
fat?
What?
Did you say I was fat?
No.
Okay.
No, not to your face, but earlier.
Pleasingly
I made a
plump,
slight,
Sarah.
I made an innuendo. Or an outnuendo, I don't know what it is.
Innuendo.
In your outnuendo. In your, what? No, it's not. Who's? No, it's not. It doesn't mean what you think it means.
They call me 009½.
So, okay, that's, Mr. Moderator,
Yes, sir.
keep going.
Save us.
All right.
We're out of here at 4, so.
Oh, okay.
I am.
Galactica was one of 2 shows by Glenn Larson that actually had a theatrical premiere prior to the television debut. Did that put more expectations on you as a cast?
No. I didn't know it was out as a movie. I had no idea. I was just working. I don't know. I'm still not sure when it was out as a movie and where. I think Canada or something, but.
Well, I thought
Japan and Germany.
See, he thought Japan and Germany. That's why he and I never got along. I'm thinking Canada. He's thinking Japan. No, I had no.
I think it aired the summer before.
It actually came out in the movie theater after it played as a 3-hour pilot.
Okay.
And then they put it out after that, and it actually went out and did really, really well.
No, it was released somewhere earlier.
Was it Censoron?
It was released somewhere as a
Cage
movie
Fight.
before it was shown on TV. But maybe I'm wrong. You would know.
I know what I think.
I don't-
Oh, I know. Maybe Europe, they played it first. In the US, they played it after they played the 3-hour. Yeah.
Was the,
It wasn't Censoron? Yeah.
y'all should know this shit.
No, it was not. It was in nonsense around. It was in
Why are you
nonsense.
asking us? Can you all kind of talk about working with Lorne Greene as a film?
No, I can't. Okay, Jack, you talk. I type in.
I think
I'm not gonna talk.
you have to realize 35 years ago, we were all fairly young actors in our late 20s or early 30s. And all of a sudden, you are thrown onto a set with an icon of the industry whose professionalism, whose courtesy, whose ability,
Thank you, Jack.
whose talent sets a standard. In every walk of life, we would like to have a mentor, and a mentor who inspires you to do great things. By example, Lorne Greene made everybody at this table a better actor. Well, maybe not Dirk. But no, I mean,
Definitely me.
there is, you know, today's actors and stuff out there are, I would honestly say, are very poorly trained in this country. They are taken off the streets, given millions of dollars, and given a TV show, and when they have no discipline and no respect for their craft and no training in their craft, nobody understands why they throw temper tantrums and, you know, cause great havoc. Lorne Greene set a standard on the set of professionalism, of coming in totally prepared to do the work for that day, knowing his words, knowing his placements, knowing everything.
Don't you hate it when they do that?
That, I tell you, you were petrified not to be prepared. So we all, I mean, he taught us to do our craft as well as we could, and that's the best lesson any good. And he was also, I would say, as a mentor, the word no never came out of his mouth. He was never anything but encouraging for whatever you did, whatever you wanted to try. He would encourage you to do it. He gave you the freedom of an actor to express yourself, because I can tell you, in this business, it's very easy to say, "What are you doing? What are you, stupid?" Right? And then that's going to really help you try to be creative when somebody talks to you that way. So Lorne was probably, just the ultimate father to us all.
And just briefly, he was such a lovely man, as you can imagine, because his persona is so gracious. But remember, guys, we went to his house for a Christmas party. That was so nice. He invited the entire cast to his house, and he just was lovely, lovely.
I used to do these big Christmas parties. I really love Christmas. And so I would have this big Christmas party every year, invite everybody, and I would just put everything into it. I wanted everybody, no matter how depressed or unhappy or whatever you went through in the year, I wanted them to come to this party and have hope, light at the end of the tunnel. And I invited Lorne Greene to come, and what was amazing, every year, Lorne Greene would come, and he would sit up in the corner, and people would come up and talk to him. And what I started to notice was, on about the third year, was there's this line going out my front door, down the driveway. And I went, what? And I walked down the driveway, and it went up the street. And I'm thinking, what happened? And what I discovered was, people found out that Lorne Greene was showing up at my party, and they didn't know me or who the hell I was, but they were all coming to talk to Lorne Greene. Isn't that the funny thing? And he would sit and talk with every single person that had flown in, driven in, come long distances just to talk to him. That's the kind of man he was. Amazing human being.
I never really liked him. Didn't get along. All that work ethic made me nervous. Too serious. And he's from Canada.
And he wasn't a Scotch drinker.
He was Canadian, and he didn't drink Scotch. He drank something, though. No. Did you go to New Orleans in when the September before we went to the Ali fight?
For the Ali fight.
Remember, we went to the Ali
with Robin Williams. We went.
With Robin Williams, we went to the Ali.
Ali fought Robin Williams.
Hey, I'm telling this story. Ali fought Spinks, number 2, and it was in New Orleans, and they had the big deal, whatever it was. And they introduced, when we were invited by ABC or something, the promotion, and Robin Williams, it was a promotion. And Lorne was there, and Tony, he just passed away, married to Natalie, married to Janet Leigh, Tony Curtis. Tony Curtis was there, and a couple other huge stars. Tony Curtis, I remember. And when they introduced Lorne Greene, there was probably, 20,000 people in that place. They went crazy. And it freaked me out, because I actually never watched Bonanza. I'd never seen it, but they went crazy. And I remember people climbing over the top of Tony Curtis to try and get to Lorne Greene to get an autograph. I was speechless, It was amazing. And they were yelling, "Mr. Bonanza! Mr. Bonanza!" And I thought to myself, oh, God, I hope that never happens to me.
He won't.
He won't. I'm safe now. I'm on the other side. So I was the guy that got the show canceled. I didn't want to tell you guys, but I'm the one that said, look, ABC, you got to cancel this show. No, that was Lorne.
Well, actually, obviously this craft is a testament to how much you've touched a lot of people.
I haven't touched anybody. Well, there was.
Lies.
I don't
Lies.
see.
Richard, on the other hand,
I touched everybody. I kept it.
Did the cancellation come as a surprise?
Shock. I saw it on the news. I didn't get a call from anyone. Didn't get a call from my agent. I was watching ABC News one night, and it just came out. I'm sitting there. It says, well, and Battlestar Galactica will not be a part of the fall lineup for ABC, and I'm kind of, what? So came like that, out of the clear blue, for me. Now, maybe for Dirk, they wouldn't dare not tell Dirk.
Shit, I just went back to school.
I don't think any of us knew. I mean, you looked at the fall schedule and went, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Oh shit!
Did you get word, Richard?
I did.
I got word.
I was really shocked too, and you know the funny part is, a year later, they had replaced, believe it or not, Battlestar with Mork and Mindy on Sunday nights. And Mork and Mindy didn't do half as well as Battlestar did. But they decided to bring Battlestar back.
But Robin was the shit.
They cut the budget in half and brought it to Earth, and for me, they ruined the show, is what they did.
It was awesome.
Yeah. And by the way, you know, when we got off that bus for that fight,
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it because I think there'd been one episode of Mork and Mindy on, and the most famous person getting off that bus was Robin Williams. Everybody was imitating his character. It's amazing how quickly that show took off. Yeah.
I don't remember anything. I don't remember much, let's be honest. It's all the cigars. I've got a lot of, no, I live in the moment. I live in the here, I live in the now. Okay, I don't dwell on the, I have to look at old cast scripts to remember you guys before I come to these things. Okay, now. That was Sharon, that was Jack, that was Richard, and I was, which part was I now? Oh yeah.
Dirk is self-medicating again. He has to keep him in.
When Galactica in 1980 was announced, Herbert joined Lorne Greene as the only returning cast member. What was your reaction to just that they were doing a spin-off with less budget, without obviously a lot less of the talent involved? You know.
My feeling, I had hoped that one day that each day would be better, but it became a labor to go to work on that show. I missed all of the teammates. I missed the family of Galactica. It finally looked like there may have been a glimmer when we had the episode that turned out to be the last episode of Galactica 1980, when Dirk and I were able to team up again in that one episode called Return of Starbuck.
The only good episode of the series.
There's one thing about that Galactica 1980, there were those who were saying how, if we brought back Galactica with the original cast, how it would justify Galactica 1980. And I mentioned to a few people that maybe what we ought to do is start off a new Galactica with Dirk waking up, with Starbuck waking up from one of his benders, okay? And he sits up straight in bed and he says, "You won't believe what I had a dream about this. That we found Earth and that I ran into this Cylon and it became my..." But no, it was... Don't even go there. What do you think? I'll repeat it.
Say it so everybody can hear.
You know what I want to ask really quick was, when you got the script for 1980, you got a script, right?
Yeah.
They actually sent a script over to both Dirk and I to do 1980, but they'd already...
Oh, no, I didn't get a, I thought you, I'm sorry, I thought you meant for the episode I did. I never saw a script for the series.
I had a script sent
I was
over.
never...
They asked if we wanted to do
What year was that? I think I was, no, I'm not being serious. I do have a serious side. I won't be laughed at all the time.
So you weren't sent a script? Because they were asking me if I wanted to do 1980.
What year was it?
1980.
Oh, you said 1980. Well, I was thinking you were saying the show 1980. Oh, so it was show, okay.
That was 1980. Right.
Well,
so you never...
they get Route 66 on different highways.
Oh boy. Okay. So the point I was making is when they sent me the script to see if we wanted to do 1980, they had literally changed Starbuck and Apollo to, who are those two other guys? Troy and, yeah, they'd already changed it in the script. So I kind of got the point that they were moving on.
You know, names?
Wait a minute, but maybe they
Yes.
wanted you to play Troy or somebody.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. No,
Well, no, they wanted us to play our original characters. They were going to use us, and then they
I never
switched
read
it.
the original. Did Glenn write it?
I was sent a script, and they asked if I would be interested in doing 1980 playing our characters, and I assume they sent it to you. I guess they did.
Well, once again, that memory thing is a little vague. I remember different other parts of the year 1980, which I could tell you all about, but they don't have a lot to do with Battlestar. No, I wasn't. People always said, you know, were we offered? Or maybe I was never sent a script, never offered to be in it or anything.
Okay.
It just all happened until Glenn sent me that script. He said, we're doing the last episode. There's a script, and I want you to do it. And I read it. It was great. I said, I would love to do it.
Yeah. Richard, you actually wrote several Galactica novels, and also, independently of other talk of reviving the series, financed your own project Battlestar Galactica: The Second Coming, which I know Jack was in. And what about the series, as a creative person, still resonated with you, that you still occupy the universe of Galactica?
Yeah, well, you know, it's, first of all, from the time I was 8, I was a dedicated sci-fi, you know, reader. I mean, I love space. I love anything to do with space. You know, the space program, call it what you will. But I read every science fiction book I could get my hands on. So Battlestar, for me, the core story of Battlestar, to me, is one of the most powerful stories I've ever read. I mean, it's an iconic story, this search for a human civilization somewhere else in the universe, searching for Earth. I just thought there was something extraordinary in that journey after a Holocaust, trying to survive, trying to live every day, not knowing whether you're going to live or die. I thought, what an incredible premise for drama, right? And so I think just about anybody, in fact, Battlestar was one of the few series where you didn't have to be a sci-fi fan to like Battlestar Galactica. Both shows, the new show and the old show, you had people cross over that had never liked sci-fi before, because it was a very iconic, powerful story. So I love science fiction, and I write in science fiction, and so I just started developing some story ideas to bring back Battlestar, because nobody was doing anything. They were bringing back shows like Chips and a whole bunch of other shows, and I kept thinking, how in the world are they bringing these shows back, and they're not bringing back Battlestar Galactica? So I wrote these stories up, I went to Universal, I started pitching it. Nobody even knew they owned Battlestar Galactica. They had no clue what it was. I went through every office, went to the legal area, talked to everybody I could, and eventually they started realizing that I kind of had an interest in this. And when the Sci-Fi Channel began to play Battlestar Galactica, all these companies came in to want to license new toys, games, stuff like that. So I got involved in writing the books and involved in some of the other productions of Battlestar collectibles. And eventually I said, you know, I want to really find a powerful way to pitch Battlestar and show them how you could update it from where it was, build a bridge to the future. So I put together this little animated trailer. I mean, it started as a kind of a storyboard with music and voiceover, and then I said, why not a little cut scene, you know, a little animated scene, and went and shot one of those. And then I started getting all these people from all over the country willing to drive in with their costumes, with their pistols, with their outfits, because I had no budget. So I'm in this no-budget production, and then I get people like Volker Engel, who won the Academy Award for ID4, special effects supervisor. I had Dean Cundy, the DP for Jurassic Park and Apollo 13, had all these people willing to come on board, film, bring cameras, bring equipment, bring stuff. So we started this epic production that started as a little storyboard, grew into this Second Coming trailer. And let me tell you, when we played it at Comic-Con back in either 99, 2000, everybody showed up. We had thousands of people because they'd all heard about this mythological trailer. Nobody knew it was real. And when we played it, I swear to God, they put us in the biggest hall, went back, multiple screens, we played it, and I'm sure if you've ever made anything, you know, the big terrifying fear is that they're going to hate it, right? And so I put a lot of energy in trying to build a bridge from the past to the future, and when we played it, there was this long, epic silence after we played it for about felt like forever, and then all of a sudden, everybody exploded into this big standing ovation for the show. And I realized that there was, and this was kids, 21, 25, 28, who were not even alive when Battlestar had come out. So that's when I really started pitching the show to Universal, saying, you know something, this show, this iconic story really has something for a lot of people. But they could never get it. And after I pitched to Universal, Glenn Larson pitched, then Tom DeSanto and Bryan Singer, who produced X-Men, they had their version, which by the way, they're working on a movie version of the original right now. And then eventually, Sci-Fi Channel didn't want to do the original show. And that's when I think Ron Moore got involved and they did the reimagining version. But I think the story has an amazing story. It has something to say to everybody. And I think it's going to go on. I think there's going to be more and more Battlestar. I don't know how many of you know Blood and Chrome. Anybody hear about Blood and Chrome? Blood and Chrome deals with Adama and Ty when they're Viper pilot age. And they filmed the pilot of that. I think you can even see the pilot on YouTube. And I believe Sci-Fi is finally going to play that series. So there should be another Battlestar Galactica series coming out. So,
Speaking of the 2003 series, I know Dirk has publicly said that you weren't a fan of the show at all.
the what now?
The reimagining. I think Dirk has said publicly you weren't a fan.
I was working, I spent money, time, energy for about 5 years trying to bring back the original show. So for me, every time they bring back a classic, is this not true? Every time they bring back a classic, what do? It's usually cheesy, it's stupid, it's totally fracked up. And I thought, this is gonna... You know, if there wasn't kids in this audience, I have a whole story about frack, but I'm not going to get it. Seriously. Where was I? What was I?
When they bring back a,
What?
when they bring back a classic show.
Oh, well, so I figured they were going to screw it up, and so when I helped produce the 25th Battlestar Anniversary Convention, and so I decided, because Universal didn't want to do our version, I decided to invite everybody that was interested in doing something with Battlestar to come to the convention, and I invited Ron Moore. And everybody was pissed off because they'd heard, you know, he's going to do this stupid, silly, cheesy version, 90210 version of Battlestar. And he had made this comment because he was so upset at all the criticism that he said, look, if you don't like it, you know, throw popcorn. And so guess what? I'm at the panel, Ron Moore's being introduced, and all of a sudden in the back of the room I see big bags of popcorn being brought in. And I thought, oh, frack, you know, help this poor guy with popcorn, you know? And believe it or not, I actually, for me, I got a chance to, I stood up, because I looked at the trailer and I thought, this is so different from Battlestar, I'm not sure I like this at all. But I said, the one thing I knew, this wasn't Battlestar 90210. This Battlestar had vision, it had artistry, it had somebody intelligent behind it. And then when I got a chance to get to know Ron Moore, he invited me. He said, look, if I do Battlestar, if it gets picked up, would you be interested in doing something? And I have to be honest, I was really conflicted because I put so much energy into the, you know, bringing back the original show. And when I watched the 4-hour miniseries, I don't know about you, but it was so different from the original. It was very hard to embrace or to really look at it objectively. But the minute it got into episode 1, which I think is one of the most powerful episodes, I fell in love with this new Battlestar. And I thought it was the most provocative, edgy, powerful sci-fi show I'd ever seen. So that's when I got really, really lucky, and this guest star role turned into an ongoing role in the show.
So I'm going to wrap this up with 2 last questions. The first one is, finally, do you think there's a place for classic Galactica in today's entertainment climate? And obviously, if the circumstances were right, would you all want to reprise your roles in another reiteration of the series? Dirk, would you be Starbuck again?
I did Starbuck last night, but nobody was there. Now, the question is not whether I would do Starbuck, is would anybody else do Starbuck? Because well, it's not going to happen. Let's be honest. So, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to play Starbuck again, ever. Although I did play Lieutenant Columbo on stage in England, all over United Kingdom for 24 weeks, one of the great experiences of my life in 2010. It It was a Broadway play originally. I got to do that. That was great. No, it's not going to happen because it
Well,
didn't
a week ago
happen.
they said there were no-
Tom DeSanto Tom DeSanto was going to do it as a series. He wrote Starbuck. Starbuck was in it. It was fantastic. He sent me the script. I was going to play him. He's a 55-year-old Viper pilot trainer. He was still drinking, still smoking, still the same Starbuck. It was full of all the pathos of what happens to a human being, a guy who refuses to grow up, you know, that archetype. But the network didn't let him do it. They're not going to let him, they weren't going to let him do that. And when they came then to reimagine it, they're not going to let Starbuck be on, not the Starbuck I played, that's not going to be on television. He's a womanizer, he's politically incorrect, he's a scoundrel. So, he's gone. So Starbuck will never again be on television. Not my Starbuck. Well, I mean, you have Katie Sackhoff's Starbuck, you can have that Starbuck, or you can have you know, but you cannot have a guy do what Starbuck did in the original Battlestar Galactica. That was 70s, that's all gone, that's forbidden. Forget the smoking, that's forbidden. It was almost forbidden then, I had to fight, almost got fired over the frickin' cigar. And now people love it, but it was like, you know, one more cigar and he's fired. So, it's just, there's not going to be, you can't have that kind of male character on television. It doesn't exist. So, that's a little bit of how I feel about it. I wrote an article about my views on the new show. I did not hate the new show. I actually never saw the new show, but I read the script, the original script of the first thing. And it's called Starbuck, Lost in Castration. It's out there if you want to read it, but it explains my views. It's basically a philosophical treatise on why one show is one way and the other show is the other way. But there you go.
Okay, well, the only thing I'm saying is a week ago we never thought we would have seen Star Wars Episode 7. So, stranger things have happened that, you know, someone with the right money who grew up watching the show could, you know, want to make a movie or something with you guys.
For 2.6 billion? Yeah.
So I guess the last question I'm going to ask all of you is, what are you currently all working on? What are you guys doing? I guess you want to begin with Dirk?
I have a comic book coming out called Dirk Benedict in the 25th Century. Blue Water Productions, yeah. I should say, I have it coming out. I was approached, they're doing it, and I said if I can write it, because I want to make sure Dirk Benedict was like Dirk Benedict, so he's acerbic and cynical, and really underneath it all, just a very shy, frightened human being. And it's taken place, and he's at a convention, and he ends up in the future, and so it's been fun. It's been fun, and they're really great artists. His name I can't pronounce. They're both Japanese, and they're doing it in the anime style. And I was hoping to have a demo here, but it wasn't ready. But soon. So that's
okay. Richard?
Yeah, I'm writing, directing, producing. I teach and lecture all over the country. I have this reality show called Who the Frack. Really, go check it out. Seriously, you'll probably hate me after you see it. It's kind of about the industry and all the crazy ups and downs and everything that happens to us, which most people never see. It's the underbelly of Hollywood. What was it? What was that Hollywood show? What about the guys in the business? Entourage. It's really the anti-entourage. It's the real Hollywood story. So we put that together. You can go to whothefrack.com and check it out. And then I just finished doing a movie called Dead by Friday, which is a Goodfellas type movie. I play a great role. Did another movie called The Pod, which is an old-fashioned sci-fi movie with Vernon Wells from Mad Max. Did another movie called Dark Season, which is a horror movie that's coming out. Directed this wonderful period piece that this woman wrote, this really lovely piece in Logan, Utah, called White Wings. And you can go on YouTube and put White Wings trailer and you can see that, and I directed that. And then I just finished this series of internet movies called The Silicone Assassin. I play the Silicone Assassin. I pop in and pop out. Have a lot of fun, doing a lot of damage. My good friend Brad Lanneweaver, this brilliant writer, co-writer for me on some of my Battlestar novels, wrote the scripts, and that'll be online soon. In fact, I think you can see some of the episodes now. So doing a lot of stuff. But my big thing is I'm writing this movie that I'm writing, directing, producing, this kind of a labor of love, and I'm going to put that together this year. And my big thing is this huge, epic sci-fi thing called Magellan. Some of you might have seen the trailers. I put them on over the past several years, but we have a novel coming out, a series of graphic novels, a game. So there's going to be a whole bunch of stuff with that. Sci-fi, is, for me, explores the unfathomable. It explores all those theoretical probabilities and possibilities about life. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? That's what I love about sci-fi. So Magellan has all of that wrapped up into it. So you should be seeing something about that next year.
Awesome. Noah?
I got a movie coming out at the end of the month called Sushi Girl with Mark Hamill, Tony Todd, Jeff Fahey, Danny Trejo. Did another movie. I got 3 or 4 movies coming out this year. Yeah, just trying to work. Herbert?
Still beating the bushes, shaking the trees, and looking for the low-hanging fruit out here. Still an actor, still do film, television, and theater. Most recently, I did a 7-minute, 8-minute short with a dear friend, Walter Koenig. Those of you who know Walter, remember Chekhov from the classic Trek. He's a dear friend, and in fact, you did a film with him as well, didn't you?
Did you see that movie that Walter wrote and started with me called Inalienable?
Inalienable, yeah. Yeah.
I get pregnant in the movie. No, this sounds really weird, I know. But it was like an amazing role.
You didn't bring that up with your list of projects.
No, I didn't.
It took me to bring it up, right? Anyway, briefly, because we have our 2 cast members here, I'll make this brief. It's an 8-minute short that was written and produced by Walter, and it stars the 2 of us. And it's sort of a Twilight Zone-y type of a piece where I'm playing a character whose death was caused by him. I'm playing a firefighting lieutenant. He's a firefighter captain who caused the death of my character some 20 years earlier, but we don't realize that until after the short is over. I think you can pull it up online. It's called Handball. And it's produced and written by Walter, and I've got a few other irons in the fire that I'm hoping will catch flame here in the near future. What I do outside of the industry, I try and do a lot of community service work. I work USO. I work for the Paralyzed Veterans Association, the Wounded Warrior Project, and the IAVA, which is the Iraq Afghanistan Veterans of America, trying to look after our men and women, boys, girls. And that keeps me busy, and I'm happy to be there. Anyway, Sarah, you want this one? Or you want
No, I'm sorry, I'm just an idiot. Well, I was in a movie this year that just came out this past week, but it's a little randy, so I'm not saying rush to see it. But it's really fun, it's really funny. But it's called 1, 2, 3, Frankie Go Boom. And if you go onto the New York Times, they just did an article about it, and they put one of my scenes online, which was pretty fun. So, and I do a lot of commercials, thank goodness for commercials. And I made a film with Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond, In the Middle. Yeah, she's great, she's awesome. And we made a movie called The Bituminous Coal Queens of Pennsylvania. And you can get it on Netflix. I have a couple copies with me, but we won several awards, and it's really sweet. It's a documentary, and it's a really neat. It's sweet, and I'm very, very proud of it. And right now, the best thing that's happened in my life is I'm a mother. So I have a 10-year-old, and because I became a mother so late in life, I do everything at school, and I'm a Girl Scout leader, and I just took my troop camping with 6,000 other Girl Scouts. And actually, I'm working on a movie right now about the life of Juliet Gordon Lowe, the founder of Girl Scouts. That's what I'm up to.
Well, as one's career dies down in the film industry, I went back to my roots, which was always my first love, which was the theater. where I was trained, and I am now a resident director at 2 theaters in Monterey, California, and 1 in San Francisco, because one of my strongest beliefs in the world is to pay it forward. I look at the way the acting craft is taught now, and I find it appalling. So the last thing I performed, and I was very lucky, I got a chance to do Death of a Salesman in San Francisco and got nominated for a Drama Desk Award, which was very nice for something, and probably my last role, because once you've done Willie, what the hell else are you going to do? But I actually have a play opening in Friday on Monterey when I'm here now instead of being there. I have 2 original plays that I'm scheduled to direct next year, 1 in Monterey and one in San Francisco. And I love it. I love directing, actually more than I always loved performing. I have always felt, having been around directors and people in our industry, which is so tenuous, and there is no tenure, and you're on top of the world one day, and people tell you you're not worth a poop the next. It is very easy to denigrate and tell people you are no good. And it's usually by people who are very fragile with their own egos. And what I love to do is take people and actors, and sometimes they're professional actors, sometimes they're community theater actors, but if you have that creative love and that love for doing this sort of thing in your system, you need to do it. You can work in a job from 9 to 5 and hate it, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're ready to go postal in your business environment, and all of a sudden you go, that's okay, I can get through the next 2 hours because I get to go to rehearsal at 7. And believe me, it can save your life. So for all of you out there who have ever wanted to try to do what we do, and it's in your blood, go do it. Go do it, and find somebody to mentor you who will never say the word no, because as a director, the word no never comes out of my mouth. I don't believe anything anybody tries creatively should ever be criticized, and that's what I do.
I know we're coming to the end here, but I just wanted to make sure everybody knows. Everybody aware of next year is the 35th anniversary of Battlestar? And so in Houston, I believe, where exactly in Houston is the 35th? It's going to be May 23rd, I believe.
Probably in the destroyed
No, it's Houston. It's not Dallas, it's Houston.
No, it's in Houston, yeah.
It's in Houston. So check it out. Go to battlestargalactica.com or battlestarfam.com and check out all the information. I know that they're selling, you know, tickets and stuff like that, so check it out. We want to thank all of you, by the way. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cast and crew of Galactica.
I love you guys.